my dear children. Once again, welcome to our physics class. Hope you all are fine over there. Children, in the previous session, we had completed chapter 10, Light. Today, we are going to start our new chapter, Human Eye and Colorful World. Children, in the previous session, we had discussed light and also the important properties of light. In this chapter, we shall study how we can use or how we can relate all those ideas to study some of the optical phenomena occurring in nature. So many amazing phenomena, natural phenomena is there, such as rainbow formation, blue color of the sky, and the reddish color of the sun during sunrise and sunset, or also splitting of white light into different colors. So all this optical phenomena can be studied or related in terms of some of the important properties of light. So let's discuss about all this concept in today's session. Let's get started, my dear children. Let's start with the new chapter, Human Eye and Colorful World. Some of the initial topics of this chapter have been deleted. So we are going to start with the third concept of this chapter, that is refraction of light through a glass prism. Before moving on to the refraction phenomena exhibited by the prism, you must know what a prism is. On the screen, you can see a triangular glass prism, and it has two triangular bases and three rectangular lateral surfaces. So which are the two triangular bases? This is the first triangular base and this is the second triangular base. Also it has three rectangular surfaces. So this is the first rectangular surface and this is the second rectangular surface, and this is the, on the bottom you can see the third rectangular surface. And the rectangular surfaces on the left and right side of the prism, that means this surface and this surface, are inclined to each other. An angle is formed between both the faces. So the angle formed between the two rectangular faces of a glass prism is known as angle of prism. Okay, so that's all about the structure of a triangular glass prism. Now we can study about the refraction of light through a prism. We have learned how light gets refracted through a rectangular glass slab. Do you remember that? Both the refracting surfaces in a rectangular glass slab was parallel. And in that case, the emergent ray was parallel to the incident ray. But however, the emergent ray is slightly displaced from the incident ray, and that displacement was known as the lateral shift. But how would light get refracted through a transparent prism? So let's discuss about that. This diagram shows the refraction phenomena exhibited by a triangular glass prism. Okay, so here you can see the prism ABC. ABC represents a triangular glass prism, and here you can see the incident ray. So a ray of light is incident on the first face of the prism. A normal is constructed like this. This dotted line represents the normal. So at the point of incidence we can construct a normal. Now this ray of light enters from one medium to another medium, isn't it? This medium is air and this medium is glass, because our prism is made of glass. So light ray enters from air to glass. And you know, air is a rarer medium, glass is a denser medium. So whenever light ray enters from rarer to denser medium, it will bend, and also it bends towards the normal. Okay, so this light ray will bend. So this was the actual path of the light ray. Instead of going or instead of following its straight line path, it will bend, and it will bend towards the normal. So this is the path of the refracted ray. Now once it gets refracted, it will move along a straight line path because this is the same medium, that is glass. Okay, so here you can see two angles. This is the normal, the dotted line is a normal. This is the incident ray. An angle is formed between incident ray and normal, I1. This I1 is the angle of incidence, and this is the refracted ray, this PQ. PQ represents the refracted ray, and this is the normal, this is the refracted ray. An angle is formed here. This is the angle between refracted ray and normal. So this is the angle of refraction, that is R1. Now next, this refracted ray reaches here on the second face of the prism. Again, this is a boundary. This is the boundary between glass and air, isn't it? So the light ray enters from or passes from glass to air, from denser medium to rarer medium. So whenever light ray passes from denser medium to rarer medium, it will bend, and bending takes place away from the normal. Okay, so here also for this phase, that means for the phase AC, for this phase, this ray PQ is the incident ray. So a normal is constructed here, and this is the normal. This dotted line represents the normal here, and an angle is formed between the normal and this ray. We can consider this ray or this angle as the angle of refraction itself. Okay, since it is the refracted ray, so let it be R2. And this ray, sorry, there is a mistake in this figure. It is not the incident ray. We can consider this ray as emergent ray. Okay, it's not I2, it is E. It is E. An angle is formed between emergent ray and the normal. So this is the angle of emergence, and see the emergent ray bends away from the normal. Okay, so this is about the refraction phenomena exhibited by the glass prism. Two refraction occurs. One refraction or the first refraction occurs at this phase AB, and the second refraction occurs at the phase AC. So at the phase AB, light ray passes from rarer to denser medium, but at the phase AC, light ray passes from denser to rarer medium. Now here you can see an angle is formed. No need to consider all these angles, that is delta 1, delta 2. No need to consider all those things. Now you just extend the incident ray and the emergent ray backwards. So this is the incident ray, and just extend the incident ray backwards like this. And this is the emergent ray, and just extend the emergent ray backwards like this. So here you can see one angle. An angle is formed between the incident ray and the emergent ray, and this is the angle of deviation, and this angle gives us the measure of how much the emergent ray has deviated from the incident ray position. Okay, and the angle of deviation is denoted by the symbol delta, or sometimes small d is also used to denote the angle of deviation, or sometimes capital D is also used to denote the angle of deviation. And in your NCERT textbook, capital D has been used to denote the angle of deviation. So it's better to follow that symbol. Okay, so what is angle of deviation? Angle of deviation is the angle between the incident ray and the emergent ray. Okay, so that's all about the refraction through a glass prism. It's very important question. You must know to draw and label the important angles and also the rays in this diagram. You can expect this diagram for your boards. And also never forget to mark the arrow if you didn't, or if you forget to mark the arrow, you will lose half marks. Okay. Next, we can discuss the most interesting concept of light, that is dispersion. So what do you mean by dispersion? See, you must have seen and appreciated the spectacular colors in a rainbow. How could the white light of sun give us various colors of rainbow? So before we take up this question, we shall first go back to the refraction of light through a prism. The inclined refracting surfaces of a glass prism show exciting phenomenon. Okay, so here, see the white light. This is white light. Our sunlight is the best example of white light. When white light is passed through prism, what happens? On entering the prism, the white light split into different colors, isn't it? So white light, which is our visible light, when it passes through a glass prism, it splits into different colors. Actually, it splits into a band of colors, that is VIBGYOR, and this forms a spectrum of colors. The band of colored components of a light beam is called its spectrum. So this is the spectrum of white light. Okay, and which are the different colors in that spectrum? Violet is there, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. That is our VIBGYOR. Okay, so whenever white light is passed through a glass prism, it splits into different colors. That means it splits into a band of 7 colors, that is VIBGYOR. And this phenomenon is known as dispersion of light. Okay, so what is dispersion? The splitting of light into its component colors, or the splitting of visible light into different colors, is known as dispersion of light. Okay, and Isaac Newton was the first scientist to use a glass prism to obtain the spectrum of sunlight. Okay, he tried to split the colors of the spectrum of white light further by using another similar glass prism. So we can discuss about the experiment performed by Isaac Newton to confirm that white light consists of 7 colors. Okay. So this was the experiment performed by Newton. So whenever Newton placed a second glass prism similar to the first glass prism, that means like this. When Newton placed 2 glass prisms like this, he could not get any more colors. But Newton placed a second glass prism in an inverted position with respect to the first glass prism as shown on the figure. Okay, like this. Now what happened? Then he allowed all the colors of the spectrum to pass through the second prism. See, a beam of white light is allowed to pass through a first glass prism, and on passing through the prism, white light splits into 7 colors, and all those 7 colors were allowed to pass through the second glass prism, which is kept in an inverted position with respect to the first glass prism. Okay, and he found that a beam of white light emerged from the other side of the second prism. Okay, see, on passing through the second glass prism, all the beam of light recombined to form a white light. So this observation gave Isaac Newton the idea that sunlight is made up of 7 colors. So you can expect this question: how did Newton establish that sunlight consists of 7 colors? Or how did Newton prove the dispersion of light? Or also you can expect a question: draw the experimental setup performed by Newton to prove the dispersion of sunlight. Okay, and what do you mean by white light? Any light that gives a spectrum similar to that of sunlight is referred to as white light. Okay, so what is a white light? Any light that gives a spectrum similar to that of sunlight. Sunlight gives a spectrum of VIBGYOR. So any other light which is capable to produce a spectrum similar to that of VIBGYOR, we can consider that light as a white light. And do you know the reason for the splitting of light into different colors? This is due to the difference in velocity or wavelength of the colors in the glass prism. Okay, so the different colors have different wavelength. Do you know which color has the maximum wavelength and which color has the least wavelength? Okay, so red color has the maximum wavelength and it is deviated least. But at the same time, the violet color has the minimum wavelength and it is deviated most. So that's why violet is seen at the bottom of the spectrum and red is observed on the top of the spectrum. Okay, and all other colors have wavelength in the range in between violet and red. So that's why they are observed in between violet and red. So however, you must remember this concept. Red has maximum wavelength, so it is deviated least. But violet has minimum wavelength and it is deviated the most. Okay, it's a very important concept. So that's why the splitting of colors or a band of colors is observed in the dispersion phenomena.